The Dark Ages. Was the time period between 400 AD and 1400 AD a dark age for Europe? Was this a time of cultural decay and decline? From the American Encyclopedia, a popular dictionary of general knowledge in 1883, the Dark Ages is a term applied in its widest sense to that period of intellectual depression in the history of Europe, from the establishment of the barbarian supremacy in the 5th century, 400 AD, to the revival of learning at about the beginning of the 15th, 1400 AD, thus nearly corresponding in extent with the Middle Ages. The time period following the fall of Rome in Europe is sometimes known as the Dark Ages. The term implies that the time between the fall of the Roman Empire and the European Renaissance was a period of decline for Europe. This time is also called the Middle Ages because it falls in the middle of two important time periods: the classical period of ancient Greece and Rome, and the European Renaissance. Why do we call it the Dark Ages? Petrarch was an Italian scholar during the 1300s who loved Greek and Roman writing. He used the terms dark and light to describe learning instead of religion. He believed that Europe was in the dark after the light of the Greek and Roman empires were gone. Historians and others since Petrarch continued to use the phrase the Dark Ages. They argued that during the centuries following the fall of the Roman Empire, Europe was in a state of cultural decline, a time that did not support learning, created very little culture, art, literature, architecture, was repeatedly invaded, had no central government, had a bad economy, and was basically a miserable place to live. So today, many historians actually disagree with this term. They think it is not the proper way to describe this period of time. But people continue to use the term Dark Ages. What do you think? Was Europe really in a dark age for almost 900 years? Over the next few days, you will quest to answer a central historical question. Was the time period between 400 and 1400 AD a dark age for Europe? Was this a time of cultural decay and decline?